Welcome everyone to tonight's webinar. We are going to be talking about cool choices in green and healthy schools with Zaya Lowry. Was our green and healthy schools intern this summer, and she rebuilt our cool choices in green and healthy schools game, basically from the ground up. Like, it hasn't been played in a few years since the pandemic, and she really kind of rebooted it for us. And we are so excited to have her here to launch this event for us this year and to help support you playing the game in your schools and your in different settings where you are teaching. So we have a short presentation, and then we will have some time for questions and answers for specific to answer specific things about your teaching situation. So with that, I will turn it over to Zaya.
So, hi everyone, my name is Zaya, and like Victoria mentioned, I was the Cool Choices intern over this last summer and was happily hired on part-time to fulfill the needs of the Cool Choices online game. And all right. And so, for those of you who are not sure of what Green and Healthy Schools is, Green and Healthy Schools is administered through a partnership with the DNR and provides information, resources, and support for all school staff, community members, and others interested in making their school green. And so, one of the resources that Green and Healthy Schools provides is the Cool Choices online game, which is an interactive game that students play to be rewarded for their sustainable actions. And so, students will complete the Cool Choices cards every day in a competition against other students. And the game is offered in both a classroom and team mode and is available to all K through 12 Wisconsin public and private schools for free. So the mission of the Cool Choices game specifically is to provide a hands-on resource that motivates students to think about the ways in which they can enact sustainable solutions into their daily routine. The goal of this game is to foster the next generation of environmental stewards by implementing the Cool Choices game in all K through 12 Wisconsin schools. And so this is the first year that we are relaunching the game, and we hope to get more schools involved every year that we continue playing. And so why would you want to play Cool Choices? What does it offer you and your school and your students? So not only does playing Cool Choices save money because you are saving resources like electricity, water, and waste, that also you are saving money in doing so. You are also improving environmental literacy within the classroom and within your community by showing students ways in which they can get involved directly. You are enhancing teamwork by having students work together to earn points and compete against others. They can also win prizes and, of course, have fun, which is the main message behind Cool Choices, is to make sustainability fun for every age level. And so the simple overview of Cool Choices is that you would log on for 3 to 5 minutes every day, whether that's the beginning of your classroom, the end of your classroom, that's totally up to the game coordinator and the person who is facilitating the game. Students or the teacher will be looking at cards every day to play. New cards are available, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later in this presentation. They will then play those cards, or they can play them later. And playing a card usually means that you would answer a question, submit a photo, or suggest an idea. So you are interacting with the card on some level. After playing the cards, you could check standings, you can check how your points are compared to other teams and see how far away you guys are compared. You can also check the stream, and then those who receive the most points by the end of the 6-week game win the game. All right, so there are 3 different roles for each person who is a part of the game. And so the student role is those who play the game by either answering questions from the teacher, which is played in classroom mode, or logging in on their own device, which is played in team mode. And we will get into that again later on. The teacher facilitates the game in their own classroom and has specific access to players, the user information, so they can help with registration and other things, and then also data like who played which cards for that day. And a teacher can also be a game coordinator, but we do differentiate the two roles because sometimes there are more than one classroom playing in a game. And so so there's usually one overall game coordinator kind of in charge of all the classrooms and all the games, and then there's specific teacher roles for each classroom specifically. And I'll be sure to answer questions about that too if that is a little confusing. And so the game coordinator role, lastly, it coordinates overall game, whether that's in one classroom or multiple classrooms. And they have access to the stream, teams, cards, and user information. So they have more access than other people would. All right, so you can play as a classroom or as a school. And so the classroom mode, or sorry, I'm getting that a little bit mixed up. So playing in team mode allows you to just play as a classroom if you choose to. And so students will be in groups and play against other groups. However, if you play as a school, you can either play in classroom or team mode. And I will get into that a little bit more in the next slide. So just maybe start thinking about this as I go through some of the more specifics of each mode. And so classroom mode is recommended for younger age groups, and it is when the teacher will log into Cool Choices every day on their device. The teacher of the classroom will then ask the students a question and complete the card. So the teacher is the one playing the game. However, they are interacting with the students. And so one question might be, at least one of us shut down a computer today. And then students would raise their hand if they did shut down their computer today. The teacher would scan the room, see how many people shut down their computer, and then answer those digits into the game. The teacher would then, well, everyone would receive points for that, and they would play against other classrooms then, to see who participates the most, who gets the most actions and most points. And then for team mode, that's when students play individually. And so when the game starts, each student will log into Cool Choices and play on their phone, computer, or tablet. It is available with any device. And then students can create or join a team depending on if the team was created already, but they do have to do one of those. They either have to join a team or create a team in order to play. And each team is up to 5 players, and so these teams can span across school, different classrooms or within the same classroom. It is completely up to the game coordinator and what they choose to, or how they choose to play. Individuals will then answer and play cards on their own, and then their points will be accumulated along with their other team points for an overall team score, and then teams will compete against other teams to win. And then we suggest teams for a older age division, more high school level. However, if you think your students are able to play at a team level, that is totally up to you. And so we also do have 2 different card decks. So we have the K through 8 grade level and the 9 through 12, just because we thought that those age levels would be able to handle different actions. And so the 8K through 8th grade is a little bit of an easier card deck, making it really easy and accessible for students to get involved. However, the 9 through 12 deck challenges students a little bit more to think outside the box and see about ways in which they can implement sustainable actions that maybe they haven't thought of before. We have 6 card categories, and so each card has a category associated with either energy, water, waste, health, community, or transportation. And so each card will be sort of focused on that category. And then there is a card release schedule. So on week 1, 1 card is released every single day. Weeks 2 and 3, there are 2 cards released a day. And then weeks 4 and 5, there are 3 cards released a day. So Some cards are also replayable and others are one-time cards. So some cards you can play every single day, other cards you can only play once. So make sure you keep an eye out for those when playing, just so maybe if you can only get one card in a day, try to get that one-time card in because you'll be able to replay the other cards maybe tomorrow or the next day. Oh. New cards are only released on weekdays. However, you can play those replayable cards on weekends as well, along with some other cards. So do check on weekends to maybe boost your points or to participate if you didn't have time during the week. There is also a game stream, and so the stream is a fun way to see what actions students participate in and to share photos from photo challenge cards. So one of the cards is I used a reusable water bottle today, and you take a picture with your reusable water bottle, and so that picture would be uploaded to the stream. However, game coordinators completely control the stream um, and can release images that they deem appropriate and acceptable to share with others. So students can't just upload a picture and it be seen by everyone. The game coordinator actually has to accept that this image can go on the stream, which is really good for just having control over what students see. And so when you play Cool Choice, sorry about that. So when you sign up to play Cool Choices, we give you a bunch of different resources to make it really easy and accessible for you to implement into your classroom. One of those resources is our YouTube video tutorials, and there are 3 YouTube tutorials posted on our YouTube channel, the Green and Healthy Schools Wisconsin YouTube channel. And so those walk you through how to register for a game, how to play a game, how to play against others, and so on and so forth. So that's a really good tool to not only watch before playing, but also share with students before playing so that everyone is on the same page. We also provide the coordinator handbook, which includes game coordinator responsibilities, promotional ideas, email templates, rules and instructions, and incentives for students to play. It is a long document and it has a lot of different information for game coordinators to make this really easy to implement. We really want to make it as easy as possible. So we're trying to give even more information than maybe someone might need. And then lastly, we also send you the detailed instructions for how to play Cool Choices. And so this is a step-by-step instruction manual about how to log in, play a card, look at your standings, look at your stream, and it has pictures as well to make it easy to follow through and just replicate onto your device. It also talks about card types, categories, decks, and more. And so there are 4 different types of cards: Leap, Step, Focus, and Create cards. And so Leap cards kind of allow students to try something new or try like a smaller action, whereas Create and Focus cards allow students to think bigger, either creating their own um, action, sustainable action at school, or focusing in on an idea that they could implement in their campus. And so those different types are seen throughout as well. And each one is associated with a color. So I believe Leap is blue, Step is red, Focus is green, and orange is Create. And all of that is detailed as well in these instructions. So after you're done playing the game accumulates all of the amounts of both energy, water, and waste that you have saved throughout the 6-week program. And so Cool Choices is played over 6 weeks, and the game uses an algorithm to estimate the amount of resources that you've saved and the amount of money that that would then translate into. And a week after the game ends, we will be sending these reportings to you via email, and you can share them with your school, with your community, or whoever you deem necessary or would want to see these numbers. Now, when we talk about prizes, we don't necessarily mean objects. prizes can look like a variety of different things, and so game coordinators decide what prizes will be and can implement prizes as they see fit. This could look like prizes for students that win the most points at the end of the week or at the end of the game, or maybe just participated in the most actions. And prizes can include extra time for special activities, um, can include a break from the classroom, whether that's volunteering or just going outside, can include like extra credit for a grade, can include a 10 minutes extra recess, credit at school store, and so many more options. All of this is also detailed in our coordinator handbook. And so we give you a whole bunch of ideas that you could think about implementing into your classroom. We also, Green and Healthy Schools, will probably be also sending you some merchandise as well that you can pass out to students as the game coordinator sees fit. So now what do you do after playing Cool Choices? You would first receive that reporting data from us via email. And then we are also offering the April Earth Month deck, which would just be playing Cool Choices for the month of April. And it focuses on Earth Month and how to get involved in that, different events, different things that students could be a part of. We also recommend filling out the Green and Healthy School survey if you haven't done so already, and that the deadlines for that is usually in November or December. And so we would work with schools on filling that out after the Cool Choices game has ended. And then, of course, tell others about Cool Choices so that we can get it into schools across Wisconsin and truly foster the next generation of environmental stewards. So a couple of frequently asked questions throughout this presentation or throughout the game that we've seen in general is what mode should I play, classroom or team mode? And we recommend K through 8 playing classroom mode and grades 9 through 12 playing the team mode. However, that is totally up to the game coordinator's discretion and what they think is best for their students. Another question is, how are card points determined? Cards are awarded points based on the wording of the question. So for example, if it's a photo challenge question, it's awarded a lot more points than if it's, did you do this or did you do that? Who gets prizes? Prizes are implemented by the game coordinator as they see fit. So in whatever way or to whomever they'd like to give prizes to, they're more than welcome to. And then can I play on my phone? Yes, Cool Choices can be played on Google, Safari, or other search engines on both your phone, computer, and tablet. And then throughout this game, I will be the primary contact for game support or any other questions that you might have. Upon registering for the game, which is a quick survey that you can find on the Cool Choices webpage on the Green and Healthy Schools website, we will also create social media posts featuring your school that will be highlighted on the Green and Healthy Schools Facebook and Instagram, and then also send all of the Cool Choices resources to you via email before the game starts so that you feel most prepared. And our Cool Choices game this year starts January 29th on Monday, and it will end on Friday, March 8th. And so that is a 6-week game period that students will be able to log into Cool Choices every single day.